Hello, Week to Warrior. I am coming to you from my car, and this Sunday I'm going to be talking to you about the herbs that can help you fall asleep. So, just quickly, there's a lot of herbs that are marketed to people who have sleep problems, and a lot of them don't work. Like almost all of them don't work if you actually have like some real sort of insomnia. If you have not real insomnia, where you just, I don't know, like slept in too much or drank too much coffee or something and now you can't sleep, they might be able to help you. But if you have real insomnia, as in there's an actual thing going on preventing you from sleeping, it's not just like, silly me, I forgot to lay down in bed and that's why I didn't sleep, which a lot of people think insomnia is. It's really weird. Like, getting into some insomnia misconceptions, I had I had this guy commenting on this YouTube short I made recently, just today or yesterday. Just a little short, go check it out. And it's just commenting at first about like stuff I could have done to fix insomnia, and I was kind of humoring him. And then eventually, I just told him like, "Look, dude, like you're just wrong. Like you're telling," because he was telling me it's always something obvious, man. It's definitely something obvious. And I didn't do 10,000 hours of research, way more than 10,000 hours. Didn't do that and suffer for a decade, over a decade, and like just try everything on the effing planet to fix my insomnia. To just have some random person on the internet telling me that it's super obvious and like, I don't know. So I just blocked the guy because just because you make a YouTube account doesn't mean you have the right to come on my channel where I actually put in effort and do stuff to like just come crap on me. Nah. So I blocked him. And honestly, I'll be real. Like, I'm a little soft. I'm a little sensitive. Like, that was a really horrible thing that I went through. Like, really, really, really horrible. I feel like I was like a POW or something. And like, it's different because it's not, I'm not actually a POW, but in some ways it's worse because I have to walk around and see everyone else living their life normally. Well, I can't sleep and I'm just dying, and I just have to like be like, wow, I guess I'm just the one that dies. Like, it's really like I saw this scene in the movie Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie when I was a junior in high school with my friends, and his character to keep. He's like, ugh, I'm not meant to live long. Like, my friends were all laughing, and I saw that, and I didn't laugh because I was like, that's me. Like, I felt like I wasn't meant to live long, and that stinks. But I fixed it, or at least like I got a handle on it. Like, I still get sleep problems occasionally if I don't stay on top of my metabolism and putting like switching up like had to switch recently from eating carbs to carnivore, and that fixed just having some sleep problems that are cropping up again. And this is part of like the cyclic carnivore, cyclic keto theory I talk about in other videos. It's very important simply because expecting that you're going to go on one diet and you're just going to be healthy forever is silly, because human beings never do the same thing consistently. Like, we're awake and then we sleep. Like, I'm sitting down right now. Later today, I'm going to walk around. Later today, I'm going to engage in some more vigorous activity. Yesterday, I was doing jujitsu. I was like sweating, fighting people, trying to like strangle someone. And now I'm sitting. It's like I have extreme effort, relaxation, everywhere in the middle. We eat a lot, and then we don't eat at all for periods of time. We eat during the day, we don't eat at night. We have a meal, we have a space between a meal. We're awake, we're asleep, we breathe in, we breathe out, our heart, boom, boom. The neuron fires, the action potential, and then it goes into its refractory period. This is just the way of things. It's the way of nature. So it's odd to expect our body to have the same needs and do the same thing when nothing in nature, even our body, does the same thing all the time. And that's just part of learning about how to be healthy, is understanding, hey, like, I have a body, my body has a nature, this nature is in accordance with the broader nature, and that means that I go through cycles. That means that I have needs that are this one day, and then those needs will change another day. I'll need to do a strength workout this day. Now I do a cardio workout. I work out my upper body, then I work out my lower body. I do a full body workout, then I do a split workout. Like, and it's not that either of those things is wrong. It's just that it's actually right that we should do this and then do this. We should sleep and then we should be active. We shouldn't try to be in this constant state of half asleep, half activity. Like, I heard Andrew Tate quote this guy, and I like this one thing he said. He said, some people are like dull light bulbs. Like, he said, like, they're like dim light bulbs. They're never really on and they're never really off. And that's something that we should practice. We should be fully on and we should be fully off. We should eat carbohydrates a lot, and then we should eat zero carbohydrates. And by having this variety, it helps keep our body healthy. Like, we would never just, if you just walked forever with 20 pounds, you would die, because you would just die from exhaustion. But if you do some sprints and then rest, that's good. We don't really want to be in the average. We want to be in the, and I think Christ says, here's your neither hot nor cold, I spit you out. And there's many levels at which that can be interpreted, but one level at which I interpret it, and at least that makes sense in a health context. I'm not using Christ's advice here for health advice. It's just there's a interesting correspondence. But we want to either be fully resting or fully active. You either want to be engaged or disengaged. You want to either be eating or you want to be not eating. So your digestive system is either having a break or you are feeding yourself. You want to be asleep or you want to be awake. And by doing that, you'll be more healthy. Like, if you just kind of like take naps throughout the day and then you don't really sleep at night, you'll just die. I mean, human beings ultimately need to reconcile these opposites. But that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is insomnia misconceptions and herbs for insomnia. So back to insomnia misconceptions. I'll cover the herbs for the insomnia at the end of the video. Stick around till then. So in misconceptions, I saw this channel, and I'm not going to drop the name of the channel because I don't really care, but the channel has been spilling a lot of stuff on insomnia, and the channel's it's stuff I've seen a lot around the insomnia community, and it's really disturbing and actually very dangerous. And I want to dispel that now, because these are a lot of people who have never experienced like what I would consider real insomnia. So this is the belief that insomnia is something you're doing to yourself, that you're somehow in your head about trying to sleep, and it's like my effort of trying to sleep that's preventing me from sleeping. This belief. For some people, it's definitely true. It's definitely true at some points in time even. But if you have real insomnia, this is not what is going on. And do not gaslight yourself into convincing yourself or try to convince yourself that this is what's going on. It's not what's going on. I've stayed up for a month straight before. I've stayed up for more weeks straight than I can count. I've stayed up for just so much time up that, like, you can't. Wait, still going. Okay, stream's still going. Stream sound looked like it got disconnected there for a second, but like green tea in a wine gallon. It's delicious. But anyway, yeah, that's nonsense. That's real nonsense. That you're psyching yourself into this. Like, the people I've worked with weren't psyching themselves into this. Like, these people like wouldn't sleep at all for days and days. When they would, they'd sleep for an hour, and then they'd sleep. They'd be up for days, and then they'd sleep like another hour. They didn't psych themselves into that. It's offensive. I mean, I don't want to be like people like, it's offensive. It's offensive. It's offensive. Screw that. No, it's offensive. But it's like someone gets tortured and you're like, pain's all in your head, right? Like, it's like the level of detachment from reality. Like, I look at these people, I'm like, you're like a child. You're like a beautifully naive child that like thinks that there's this beautiful, perfect world that like makes sense, where people don't stay up for weeks at a time just like wishing for the end, wishing they could sleep at all, wishing that like the pain would just end. it's nice to believe that that doesn't happen. It's nice to believe that, and this is interesting. This other channel though, because that was someone else. There's many people I've heard that from. A lot of people who didn't have insomnia, but there's other people though. This is the thing though. This channel is the darndest thing. Whatever. I'll call it out. Fearless Insomnia. I think Fearless Sleep. Go check them out if you want to. I think the woman is, God bless her, whatever. She thinks she's helping people, but I think that it's kind of tapped. I mean, she literally tells you in the videos that she's just given up on sleeping. She's just given up. You just give up on sleeping. And she even says, though, she's like, but if you give up, though, it won't help you sleep. You have to really give up. What does that even mean? She's like, no, but I really get, like, no. All she means is she doesn't know what the heck she's talking about. And she's trying to convince people to accept their circumstances because she just accepted her circumstances, and then maybe that reduced her stress levels enough to the point where she could heal herself, and she probably never even had that bad of insomnia. Like, it's complete nonsense. Like, and the reason I bring this up is because many people who have insomnia for prolonged periods of time kill themselves. So I don't really want people just thinking like, oh, if I just wait and give up, then I'll be able to sleep, because you're going to kill yourself if you give up. I mean, that's my experience, at least. Like, if I'd given up, I would have killed myself. And it's like, they're like, oh, well, trying is the problem. Well, like, you're trying, and you keep the problem solving mind is seeking to identify a problem. And therefore it identifies a problem in the fact that you can't sleep. So creates the problem that you can't. Like, it doesn't make any sense, really, when you really break it down. It's like, the claim is that you're so neurotic that you stayed up for a week straight. I don't think anyone who stayed up for a week straight is making these claims, because that's, if you stayed up for a week straight, you wouldn't say that, because like, you can't make yourself do that unless I'm like tougher than all the Navy SEALs ever. Like, are you guys, like, if people claiming like I'm tougher, and people with insomnia are like tougher than like all the Navy SEALs, we could just psych ourselves into not sleeping for weeks and months at a time. Really? Like, that's what's going on here. What I think's happening is that this woman got better and gave up, and it's just pure luck. And now she's making videos, and it's making people feel better, because now they're like, okay, I don't have to try to actually fix this problem that's like a really serious problem, because the problem's like gonna actually kill me and destroy my whole life, which it will, because it does. And I've seen this. I've talked to people who are living in like their boyfriend's ex-boyfriend's backyard in a tent, and they can't sleep, and they're just having IBS constantly, and like bleeding rectally, and like they just look like, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's like horrifying how sick people get and how like twisted their circumstances become, to the point where they can't even fix themselves anymore. And I think that, like, I don't care in a deep sense, because like, I'm not mad at her, because I don't think that she's trying to hurt anyone. And I think she's legitimately doing her best. She's like at a stage that I was at one point when I was trying to fix my insomnia, where like it just this happened. I think, I don't know, I was like 14, where like I started sleeping for like a few months, and I was like, oh, I figured it out. It was that I was trying too hard, but it was actually just random chance that I started sleeping again, and then I stopped sleeping again shortly afterward. Like, she could just stop sleeping again, probably will. That's what I've seen. Or even if she doesn't, I'm not going to make any claims, because I don't really know. But even if she doesn't stop sleeping again, maybe she made other healthy decisions, maybe she healed a bit. But like, there's different types of people. There's the people who have mild insomnia, and then there's like the people who have more severe insomnia. So mild insomnia would be like, sometimes I have sleep issues. That typically turns into more severe insomnia, where all the audio is going in and out. That typically turns into more severe insomnia, where you're like having actual full nights you can't sleep at all, maybe even multiple nights in a row you can't sleep at all. And how's the audio now? And Then you have really extreme insomnia, like the kind of insomnia I had, where there's weeks, months you can't sleep, you're barely sleeping, and like most of your life is barely sleeping. And the periods of time where you are sleeping are irregular, not the norm, and they don't last very long. And that is that's not like you're not going to fix that with trying to give up and become apathetic toward your circumstances and like truly give up. Like that's just nonsense. You have to develop a warrior mentality. You have to like figure out what is poisoning you, because she even says that it doesn't work. She's like, people will give up, but they'll give up in order to sleep. And because they're giving up in order to sleep, it's not really giving up, so it doesn't work. Like people are killing themselves because they're suffering. And she's just like, I don't know, she's just in la la land. Like God bless her, she's trying to help people, but it's delusional. And I don't want people thinking that stuff. Don't think, go think. I mean, if it works for you, God bless you, whatever, go think it. But if you're like on the verge of suicide and you're like, I can't not try hard enough, it's not that. That's literally not it at all. She's crazy. Watch my stuff. Like, don't listen to her, please. Onto the herbs thing. So herbs, they'll be marketed to you for insomnia, like valerian root is very common, chamomile, domina, all these different things are all marketed for sleep. And a lot of them work a little bit. The ones I've found really work for people who have developed neurological problems due to chronic stress from not sleeping for long periods of time, which I experienced my junior year of high school into my senior year of high school. I just had this huge stress issue. And I had to take large amounts of ashwagandha to physically absorb the cortisol in my body. And then I had to take L-Dopa in the form of Mucuna pruriens to kind of get my dopamine working in my brain again, get my brain working again. And those two things help me sleep. Funny enough, the Mucuna pruriens, the dopamine in that, the dopaminergic effect from that, because it's L-Dopa, it's not actually dopamine, helped me sleep and helped my testosterone function get back going again, and had a lot of benefits. So I'd really recommend, if you're trying to sleep, it would be Mucuna pruriens and ashwagandha. But what I really recommend, though, is the dietary changes and lifestyle changes I recommend in my other videos, because just taking an herb alone is not going to help you sleep on an ongoing basis, because you'll develop tolerance if you don't correct the underlying causes. And that's the truth of it. I mean, even ashwagandha, Mucuna pruriens, those worked really well. I didn't really develop that much tolerance to them, if any, because I was already doing everything right. They were just kind of an extra push in the right direction. I think drugs and herbs, because herbs are drugs, should be treated that way, as an extra push in the right direction rather than something we're relying on. Because I made this video partially to correct this misconception people have that herbs are going to help you sleep. Like, herbs aren't going to help you sleep, and herbs aren't going to fix your testosterone. They really won't. They'll push you in the right direction 20%. That 20% won't do anything if you still are eating poison, because that's just going to be undone. But if you stopped eating poison, you started doing everything right, and your body needs a little bit of a kickstart to kind of get testosterone, because testosterone and all these processes like sleep are feedback loops. If you're not sleeping, it's hard to sleep. You know that if you have insomnia. If you have no testosterone, it's hard to produce testosterone. You know that if you've had low testosterone. So ashwagandha will lower the cortisol, and Mucuna pruriens will raise the dopamine, and that will really provide a good neurological kick to getting you out of the hyper stressed state, because all this hormone production, neurological production, starts with the brain. I mean, it's empowered by the body, but when we actually need the thing to start itself, it comes from the brain. That doesn't happen in a hyper-stressed state. And this is where herbs are really helpful. You can take ashwagandha and have a reduced stress effect. It's real. It's very real. You can take Mucuna pruriens and have a dopamine effect that will boost your mood, reduce your stress, and kickstart testosterone-based processes that synthesis of androgens, because that's a dopamine kickstarted process. So I'll talk about those herbs more in other videos, but you found this interesting, like, share, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you get notified. I go live every day at 3 o'clock, so tune in then, and I release other live videos. Thank you very much, and let me know anything you want down in the comments section below. I always read those, check them out, and I love it when people let me know how I'm helping them and any questions they have, so it lets me know what content I can make to help you guys. Done.